Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL offseason, you already know that the Green Bay Packers are not resting on their laurels. After a season that had its ups and downs, and with the looming challenge of competing in a fiercely competitive NFC North, the Packers are making moves. And these moves are not just about filling roster spots. They're about signaling intent, about building a team that can not only contend, but potentially dominate in the upcoming season. Recently, the Packers made a strategic trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, adding some much-needed depth to their offensive line. That's a crucial move, especially considering how much importance quarterback Jordan Love's protection has taken on in this new era of Green Bay football. But you see, acquiring Darian Kinnard wasn't just about shoring up the line. It's a statement that the Packers are serious about protecting their quarterback and establishing a stronger running game. This is vital because, in today's NFL, a balanced attack, one that can both air it out and grind out yards on the ground, is often the key to sustained success. But here's where it gets even more interesting. After that move, the Packers are reportedly eyeing other areas on their roster where they can improve, especially before Tuesday's roster cut deadline. That's when teams have to trim down to their final 53 players, and clearly, Green Bay is trying to get ahead of the curve. One of the most talked about areas right now is the secondary. Now, we all know how crucial a solid cornerback core is in today's pass-heavy NFL, especially when trying to contain high-powered offenses across the league. The Packers, after releasing Jaire Alexander earlier this summer, are looking to bolster that position, and the trade market might hold some promising options. And this is where things get really intriguing. According to NFL insiders and analysts, the Packers could be exploring a trade for a cornerback who's currently on the roster of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this isn't just speculation. There's real logic behind this potential move. The Steelers, for their part, have been active in strengthening their secondary, bringing in veteran cornerbacks like Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, which inevitably means that some of their younger talent might be on the chopping block, especially as they try to manage their roster and salary cap space. One player in particular that has caught the attention of NFL analysts is Beanie Bishop, a 25-year-old cornerback who made a splash last season as an undrafted free agent. Bishop played all 17 games, starting 6 and picking off 4 passes, including 2 against Aaron Rodgers, a name that's well known in Green Bay circles. That kind of production from an undrafted player is impressive, and it shows that Bishop has the potential to be a real asset. Now, NFL Media's Eric Edholm has suggested that Bishop could be a prime candidate for a trade before teams finalize their rosters. Edholm points out that Bishop's size, just 5'9" and around 182 pounds, doesn't necessarily hold him back, especially given his ball skills and ability to make plays. Last season, he proved he could be a playmaker, and that kind of instinct and production is highly valued in today's NFL secondary. But at the same time, the Steelers have added veteran experience around him with Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, and they also drafted Brandon Echols. So the question is, does Bishop fit into their long-term plans, or are they open to trading him for some valuable draft assets or other pieces? The coaching staff in Pittsburgh has been clear that Bishop needs to continue fighting and working hard to make a splash and carve out a bigger role. Terrell Austin, their defensive backs coach, recently mentioned that Bishop needs to fight and work to get some splash to get in the picture. That comment suggests that while Bishop has talent, he's still fighting for his spot, and that the team might be open to moving him if the right opportunity comes along. If the Steelers decide to make Bishop available, the Packers, with their need to strengthen the secondary, would be smart to jump in and pursue that trade. Think about it. Green Bay has historically been aggressive in making strategic moves before the roster deadline, and acquiring a young, talented cornerback like Bishop would be a low-risk, high-reward addition. It would give them depth, competition, and potentially a player with a lot of upside to develop. And with the way the NFL trade market has been heating up over the past few days, it's clear that teams are looking to get ahead of the waiver wire and make impactful moves that could pay dividends during the season. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on what this means for the Packers' overall strategy. Green Bay's front office has shown that they're not afraid to pull the trigger if the right player becomes available. They're looking to build a roster that's versatile, hungry, and ready to compete at the highest level. Bringing in a player like Bishop, who has already proven he can make plays against top-tier talent, aligns perfectly with that mentality. It's about adding young talent, creating competition, and pushing everyone on the roster to elevate their game. Plus, considering the Packers' recent history of drafting well and developing talent, they could see Bishop as a diamond in the rough, someone who, with the right coaching and opportunity, could develop into a starter or at least a key rotational player. That kind of depth is invaluable, especially when injuries happen or when trying to match up against the league's best quarterbacks. Having a young, hungry cornerback with 4 interceptions under his belt could be just what Green Bay needs to add some unpredictability and playmaking ability to their secondary. And it's not just about filling a roster spot. It's about strategic positioning, making moves that set the tone for the season and beyond. The NFL is a league where depth and versatility often determine who makes the postseason and who falls short. So, if the Packers can land Bishop or a similar player before the deadline, it could turn out to be a shrewd move that pays off during the grueling weeks of the regular season. In terms of the overall division, this potential move could shake things up in NFC North. The Vikings, Lions, and Bears are all making their own moves, but Green Bay's willingness to be aggressive and proactive could give them a competitive edge. Especially if this trade for Bishop or another cornerback materializes, it would send a message across the division that the Packers are not just content to rebuild, they're here to contend. The NFC North has always been a tough, physical division, with teams that boast strong defenses and dynamic offenses. The Lions, for example, have a potent passing game, and the Vikings have added weapons on offense, so having a solid secondary could be the difference maker for Green Bay. Remember, the NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint, and building a roster capable of adjusting and responding to different challenges is key. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The Packers have been steadily building for the future, with Jordan Love now stepping into the spotlight as their starting quarterback. But winning in the NFL is about more than just a great quarterback. It's about having a well-rounded, cohesive unit. That's why these roster moves, like adding Darian Kinnard on the offensive line and potentially trading for a young cornerback, are so significant. They're about creating a team that can adapt, overcome adversity, and make a deep playoff run. And for all the Packers fans listening, this is the kind of news that gets us excited. It's about seeing your team be proactive, making smart moves, and setting the stage for a successful season. The NFL offseason is always filled with rumors and speculation, but when the moves start to materialize, it's a thrill. It's the anticipation of what's to come, knowing that your team is doing everything it can to give itself the best shot at glory. So, as we keep an eye on how this potential trade unfolds, remember that the Green Bay Packers are not just sitting back. They're actively shaping their roster for the challenges ahead. They're looking for the right pieces to complement their existing talent and push toward another Super Bowl appearance. The NFL is unpredictable, and that's what makes it so exciting, but one thing is for sure. The Packers are in it to win, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these moves? Do you think the Packers should pursue a trade for Beanie Bishop or maybe explore other options in the secondary? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. Remember, your voice is part of this journey, and we love engaging with all of you passionate fans. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, insights, and breaking news about the Green Bay Packers. Stay tuned, stay passionate, And let's keep that green and gold spirit alive as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting season. Whether it's on the field or in the front office, the Packers are working hard to bring us another shot at NFL greatness. Thanks for being with us, and as always, go Pack Go.